across the rest of the system.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Here's your WTMJ forecast today. Sunny to partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a straight afternoon shower possible with a high of 71. Tonight, a slight chance of an isolated shower in the evening, then clearing and cool. Lows near the lake are 53 and 48 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 60 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And we have a really busy show this morning. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a minute. It's obviously going to be a big day at AmFam. And as Nazir just said, that network coverage gets underway at 12:25. But our coverage with Brewers Warm-Up begins right after the news at noon. So we'll be telling you more about that. We'll also be sharing, I know during the newscast you heard Eric's story about Bob Costas being on with he and Vince on Wisconsin Morning News on Friday. We're going to play a couple more excerpts from that this morning as well. But before we do anything else, at 8:08, it's time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead with that story.
An everyday hero is identified by Wisconsin's Morning News as an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Waxhaw, North Carolina, where 6-year-old Graham Huntley lives. Graham loves trains.
What is it about trains that you like so much?
When I wave at them, they wave at me back.
That's little Graham speaking with Channel 9 Eyewitness News. So he loves trains so much that every time they drive past tracks, of course, he's always looking. Well, one time with his family, Graham was driving across the tracks and he looked down the way and he saw a large tree which had fallen and was now blocking the track. Graham, concerned, told his mom, who then called the police. The conductors of the train were alerted, and they actually had to pull the emergency brakes to stop the train. There is video of the train coming to a screeching halt just feet before the tree. You can see it. Just text the word hero to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. The train conductors say the boy helped prevent a possible derailment. Mom tells Channel 9 she's very proud of her son.
Of course, we were so proud of his observant nature, but I think the biggest thing was that, he was able to learn. You see something, you say something.
What does little Graham think of what he did that day?
That I saved the day.
Yeah, you did, Graham. Thank you to our youngest everyday hero, Graham Huntley. Thank you for preventing a possible train derailment. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Thanks so much, Eric. Always good to hear those everyday hero stories. I especially like when they're little kids. I'm Libby Collins. Well, we've got a busy show ahead this morning. The National Guard is in town for their yearly conference. This is the third time they've been in Milwaukee. Well, we're going to be joined right here in the studio live by not one, but two National Guard generals. Can't wait. I've never been in the presence of two generals at once. It's also this year the 90th anniversary of Social Security. We'll have a little bit of info for you about that. And as I said a little bit earlier, Vince and Eric did talk with Bob Costas on Friday about the late Bob Euchre being honored before today's Brewers game. And we're going to share some of what he told them. And if you missed it, I think you're going to find it pretty moving because Bob had a pretty close relationship with Euchre. Also, speaking of Bob Euchre, Sandy Max has a preview of today's celebration of life, and we'll hear from her on that. Tim Gibbons is here from the Milwaukee Business Journal. He's going to talk about those new luxury townhouse rentals in Whitefish Bay and when they're going to be open as far as people being able to move in. We're also going to have a preview of today's WTMJ conversation with the newly appointed Milwaukee Director of Wellness and Community Safety, Adam Purcell. That is at 11 o'clock this morning. You are not going to want to miss that conversation. We'll take a look back at the week in review. Isaac's here pushing those buttons. Nicer Spencer's in the newsroom. And in just 2 minutes, it's Marquardt with Sports right here on WTMJ. And it is going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a bit breezy today. Might get a stray afternoon shower, but overall, it's feeling like fall in Milwaukee. We'll get up to 71 right now. It's 60 degrees at 8:12 on WTMJ.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
John Mercure here for Serta Pro Painters. They painted the outside of our house. It was fantastic. I've got a big deck. They really had to navigate on 2 levels. The guys took their time. They paid attention to detail. They did it right around the deck. My whole house looks fantastic. Trim and siding, it's great. It's Serta Pro Painters. Schedule fills up fast, so now's the time to plan your project. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C for your home or business. Each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are the best. They're Serta Pro Painters.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers had a strong start in the second inning last night.
2-0 pitch. Durbin lines one into the gap in right center field. They're going to be running a while. Bowers is around third. He will score as Durbin drives in the game's opening run with an RBI double.
And it all went downhill from there. The Giants beat the Brewers in a 7-1 landslide after a 3-run homer in the 7th that the Crew just couldn't recover from. They've got one more game against San Francisco this afternoon before they take on Arizona. WTMJ will carry an extended pregame show to include the team's celebration of Bob Uecker. Brewers warm-up starts at noon, Brewers radio network coverage starts at 12:25, and first pitch is at 1:40 p.m. And the Packers beat the Seahawks last night. Their first regular season game is against the Lions, September 7th. I'm Marquardt for WTMJ Sports.
And you're going to be at that game today.
I am. That's true.
I know Nazir's going to be out there. I know Sandy Max is going to be out there. I have FOMO right now.
Everyone who's anyone is going to be there.
Fear
Libby.
of missing out.
Get yourself a ticket.
I don't think there's any left. I know Sandy said that she got a ticket in an obstructed view. That's how badly she wanted to be there. And those were all the tickets that were left at that time.
I bet you could find something for multiple hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think I'll watch it or listen to it here on WTMJ. All right, it is 8:16. We have 60 degrees at WTMJ. We're going to get up to 71. And coming up in just a couple minutes, we've got Tim Gibbons. He's the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
The older players on the other team will come and just kind of, what they call it is, we're going to try to find the fish. And you don't want to be the fish.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
So my welcome to the NFL moment is, as I get in my stance, they give me the little smirk like, buckle up. Thing is, you see it on film, every special teams coach is going to say, there's the fish.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Your family, your memories, our priority. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
It's time to check in with Timothy Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And what's this I hear, Tim? In Whitefish Bay, they're going to be opening some luxury townhomes for rent.
Yeah, an opening is still a little ways off, but there's already strong interest from renters in this property. So the first 10 homes are expected to open in October. We say they're luxury. The initial units are going to be renting for just over $5,000 a month. So you can kind of tell from that price point what type of market they are targeting. Now, one of the things I found fascinating about this story is it's being built in the former site of the Whitefish Bay Women's Club. And in talking to the developer, he has this great story about negotiating the sale of that property with these two women. And as he's making this pitch for a real estate deal, they're sitting there knitting, and he's like, they're just saying, knit one per one. And he's like, and we can buy your property. So it sounds like it was a fun negotiation. And obviously people are excited about these townhomes.
And probably some members of the Women's Club might be interested in renting one of those.
I can imagine.
At $5,000 a month, they must be pretty nice. All right, let's talk about the community of St. Francis. Now, as you know, they are really growing. And you wrote a story in the Business Journal this week about what's being planned at a city-owned property.
Yeah, and this is another project that is one of those that is exciting on its own, but there's also the ripple effects that you can guess might happen from it. So this is in a much earlier stage of development, but there's a construction group that's in talks to buy this 13-acre parcel from the city. They're looking at doing a development valued at about $100 million. This has been one of those sites, and there's a bunch around the area that is city-owned and a desire to have a particular type of development there. So different development groups have been working on there for a good number of years. The plan that's in the works now would have apartments, but also would have daycare, a sports bar, a medical office, just a bunch of different uses at this property. And if you talk to the people in city government, what makes them excited about it is the idea that it's not just housing. Like a lot of areas, St. Francis does have a need for housing, but it wants more. It wants something that will actually draw people to the area.
We've been talking a lot about Kenosha, Tim, and what's this about a German manufacturer who's being given $1 million in tax credits? What do they manufacture?
So this is a company that has had this entire project in the works forever. They're a container manufacturing company, Schutz container with an umlaut. My German wife would want to make sure that I pronounce that correctly. And they've been working on it, as I said, for years, but the tax credit's new. That was first disclosed this past week. The other interesting news that our reporter Rich Kirchen was able to uncover is that they are looking at a second plant later this year. So obviously it is good times in the container making business. So from the state standpoint, $1 million is money well spent in terms of taking this $35 million facility and helping it get set up. Just as a quick side note, if listeners want to learn more about all of these state incentive programs, we did a deep dive into them a week ago that people can go to our website and find a lot more than they ever wanted to know about state incentives.
So you say they're containers. What kind of containers are they that they're going to be manufacturing?
So it's basically a variety of packing systems. It's for industrial solvents, things like that. So they do plastic, like jerry can sort of containers, a variety of things that basically help transport industrial material.
I know we've been talking about this one a lot, Tim, and that's the data centers. Tell us about this $8 billion project and what you learned this week.
I don't think we'll ever get tired of talking about data centers. It is such a booming field here across the southeast part of the state. So the newest one is a data center in Port Washington, where they had a development agreement that was agreed to this week. It's been a project that has been about a year in the making. The city has had to annex about 700 acres from the town of Port Washington. They've had to set up a tax incremental funding district. So the big deal is they've reached this development agreement, which the officials in that area really hope is going to be a big shot in the arm for the economy there.
No, let's hope so. With $8 billion, that's a lot of investment money.
It really is. Here's the fun bit. That's how much the facility is going to cost. The stuff that goes into it will actually bump that cost up even higher.
Whoa, amazing. Now, in Washington County, a lot of people have been wondering what's going to be happening with the UWM campus. Now, this closed at the end of June, but it's just been sitting vacant for the last couple months.
It's been sitting vacant, and county officials have really been putting in a lot of work trying to figure out what the next step should be. There's kind of a push and a pull on figuring out what to do with it. It's going to cost the county money just for maintenance and keeping the thing up. So there's a cost associated with it, and there was the potential of revenue. And the revenue side of things very much won out. So listeners might remember there were basically three options: a charter school and a community center and a Christian school that is looking to expand. So the Christian school that's looking to expand was chosen to negotiate to buy the property. County's talking about $3 million for buying the building. A separate conservancy foundation would acquire some of the land and kind of use that for parkland, while Ozaukee County Christian School expands into the facility. It will let the school add grades. Right now they top out at middle school, basically. So they'll be able to add high school, and they say they're already busting at the seams. So hopefully all the work would be done to get this all up and going for the next school year.
Oh, that sounds like a really good idea for that area. And finally, Tim, we started talking about real estate, and let's end with it. In downtown Milwaukee, they're looking at what? The first condo project in about a decade?
It's interesting. I think we talked 2 weeks ago or so about a condo project on the shores of Lake Michigan. That was the first condos in that area, and I think it was 2 decades. But condos are, I'm not going to say that they're coming back the way they used to, but there is interest in people who want multifamily living but want to own. So this would be the site of a former dry cleaner. It's been vacant for years, but this site on Bell R. Phillips Avenue would be transformed, would have new condos built there, about 22 units, as well as some ground floor commercial space.
Won't they have to do a chemical cleanup there? The EPA would have to be involved, wouldn't they?
So you have covered a lot of things, and you put your finger on exactly the question that I asked when I was talking to the reporter about this story. There's a reason why you don't hear about a lot of old dry cleaner spots turned into really anything. It is oftentimes unknown contaminants in the soil. In this case, there was an underground tank that was removed, and the tank was not leaking. So that's a good sign that very possibly things are not as contaminated as they could be. But the developer tells us that he doesn't have an exact timeline for the project. He's looking to break ground, as he said, in 2 years or 5. He doesn't really know. And in part of that is because of the amount of cleanup. It might not be the very worst case scenario, but there definitely is going to need to be environmental cleanup, and there are companies that have been contracted to do that work.
I think you might have to rent one of those townhouses in Whitefish Bay while you're waiting for your new condo to be completed.
There we go. That's what I'll do. I'll just hop from house to house as new projects are developed.
Why not? Tim Gibbons, always great to have you here.
Good to talk to you as well.
It is going to be a sunny Sunday. Yeah, we might have a few clouds. It will be breezy. It's going to feel like fall, actually, because our high is only going to be 71. There is a chance of a stray afternoon shower. Then tonight, maybe another isolated shower. It's going to be chilly, though. 53 degrees near the lake, 48 if you're inland. And then tomorrow, it's going to be sunny, a few clouds, and a bit breezy, and a high of 71 degrees. We're at 61 at 8:26 on WTMJ, and coming up in just a couple minutes, I'm going to have a preview of today's conversations with Adam Purcell, the newly appointed Director of Community Wellness and Safety for the City of Milwaukee.
We ran the numbers. Overseas furniture makers charge an extra 38% to package and ship iffy furniture to the Midwest.
So out of $1,000, you're paying $380 for nothing that makes the product better.
But 82% of Penny Mustard's furniture is made within 300 miles of us.
So we're able to invest that extra $380 into higher quality materials and craftsmanship.
American-made furniture that lasts for generations.
When you shop at Penny Mustard, it adds up.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, value shoppers! Fleet Farm's having another 3-day bucket sale. Here's how it works. Pick up a 5-gallon Fleet Farm bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside. That's right. Any qualifying items that fit in the bucket are 15% off. So stop in and save during Fleet Farm's bucket sale, August 22nd through the 24th. And check out even more deals in our weekly ad at fleetfarm.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry. I love Guthrie and Fry. I've got their water softener, the salt delivered right to the basement. Their RO system, which filters the water in our house. What we drink, what we cook with, is crisp, clean, clear. It's Guthrie and Fry water conditionings, the best in the business. They also provide well pump system service, routine service, and emergency service. For when you need it, they've been doing that since 1974. At Guthrie and Fry, they know that better water makes a big difference. The teams I trust are at Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
Hey, Wisconsin, come explore with us. Tired of scrolling through travel feeds? It's time to make your own postcard. Fox World Travel is throwing a free vacation showcase just for you. Chat directly with the dream makers from Viking, Royal Caribbean, Insight Vacations, and more. We're talking beyond the brochures. Think insider secrets, unforgettable destinations, and deals you won't find anywhere else. Join us Saturday, September 20th at the unforgettable EAA Museum in Oshkosh. Register online at foxworldtravel.com today.
Well, this week, Mayor Cavalier Johnson appointed Adam Purcell as the new director of Milwaukee's Office of Wellness and Community Safety. Now, a few weeks before that announcement was made, I had the opportunity to sit down with Adam, and I talked with him about decisions that he made as a teenager. Now, of course, this eventually led him to become an advocate for violence prevention, but he told me about the day that changed his life 3 days after he turned 15.
A lot of things happened simultaneously. So rival gang members came. I did not recognize them at the time. The gang leader who did told myself and my would-be future adult co-defendant to get out our guns, and we both did.
What happened then?
There was a conversation held. I could hear my co-defendant asking them if they belonged to a specific gang. Did not hear the response that they gave. I assumed it was in the affirmative because then the response was shooting, to which I then grabbed my gun, I ran across the street, and I also started shooting.
How many shots were fired?
20 in all, I believe.
And you fired how many?
As many as the gun held, I can't remember. No more than 6.
But one of those bullets hit one of the other gang members.
2, unfortunately.
You shot 2 men.
Correct. And one, unfortunately, did not survive.
Wow. You know, when you hear a story like that, and that happened 30 years ago, but it's happening today. We've got Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center at 8:30. And Nazir, it happened last night again where teenagers were involved in shootings and one of them didn't make it.
Yes, thank you, Libby. A 16-year-old boy is dead after a shooting Saturday night near North 12th Street and West Concordia. Milwaukee police said it happened around 9:15. The circumstances leading up to the shooting are still under investigation. Police continue to search for suspects. Earlier within that day, Saturday night, a person is dead after police pursuit ended in a crash Saturday. Police say they tried to stop the vehicle wanted in a recent shooting near Menike Avenue around 7:40. The driver sped off, crashing into another car on Center Street, killing the driver. The suspect ran away and has not been caught. This is also under investigation. Enforcing traffic on Marquette's campus, the Marquette University Police Department has introduced a new traffic enforcement unit. The unit has been working since the beginning of summer. The goal is to decrease reckless driving. According to the university, the unit made more than 200 stops in the first 11 weeks with 14 OWI arrests. That represents a 165% increase in traffic stops from the same time period in 2024. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Want to save big on your next home improvement project? Visit extpros.com today for expert services at unbeatable prices.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny to partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a stray afternoon shower possible with a high of 71. Tonight, a slight chance of an isolated shower in the evening, then clearing and cooling. Lows from 53 near the lakefront and 48 inland. Monday, sunny to partly cloudy, still a bit breezy with a high of 70. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 70. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 75. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 76. Right now in Madison, it's 59 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 60 degrees. And in Milwaukee, it's 60 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:32.
Thanks a lot, Nazir. And by the way, you can hear that entire conversation with Adam Bursell at 11 o'clock this morning on WTMJ Conversations. In just 2 minutes, we've got the Week in Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I believe in aliens, ghosts, and UFOs, but I don't believe Hasselus Mattress is employee-free.
It's true. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Do these mattresses come from Area 51?
We're talking big names like Sealy Posturepedic and Beautyrest.
Who's supporting you? The Illuminati?
If you need support, through Monday, get a free adjustable base with any new mattress.
That's what the lizard people told you to say.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Hey, John Mercure here. I am so done with those tangled holiday lights. That's why I'm super impressed with the permanent lighting solutions from Landworks, Wisconsin. Their team installs a discreet professional system that can make your home shine for any holiday, game day, or season with the touch of a button. And their commitment to year-round beauty is what Landworks is all about. It's in their custom-designed patios, stunning garden renovations, and attention to detail. It's Landworks, Wisconsin. They'll take care of you. They'll make you shine. Check it out at landworkswisconsin.com.
Why settle for just a job when you can have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee new car dealer members have service technicians, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam member new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com/jobs. That's ADAMM.com/jobs.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. Next half hour, during the 9 o'clock hour, we are going to be joined by not one, but two generals from the National Guard. They're in town for their annual conference. I think you're going to find them very interesting. I can't wait to meet them myself. It's 8:35. Well, this week, Trump met with European leaders. There were long, long lines for Free Burger Day, and FEMA arrived in Milwaukee. There's a lot more, too. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
The 1-1 pitch popped into center field and playable. Moving back into his left on the track is Lockridge. He's there. He makes the catch. Can you count to 14?
The next day.
And he throws. Line drive, base hit, pulled past the diving third baseman Siegler. It rolls all the way to the wall and left to end the 14-game franchise record winning streak for the Brewers.
Number for you. Balcony collapsed in St. Francis. Happened around 8 p.m. last night at a two-story apartment complex near Kansas and Whitnall.
It took some communication. They made the grabs, getting the people out of the upper floors relatively quick. I mean, within the first several minutes on the scene.
And the rain is coming again.
Yeah,
Yes,
no doubt about that. Right, how appropriate, right, for this Milwaukee summer, at least recently.
Brewers and Cubs washed out in game number 2 of this potential doubleheader tonight. We'll try again tomorrow.
In just the last week, President Trump has held separate meetings with President Putin, President Zelensky yesterday of Ukraine, in what the administration is calling a 3-step process to end the war. But Zelensky was not alone yesterday. He was with many other prominent European leaders.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand that, as crazy as it sounds?
Checking in with, I'm sorry, your name is again?
My name is Debbie Lazaga. How you doing?
She's
nice
our
to
new
meet
traffic
you.
reporter. Welcome back, Deb.
Thank you, sir.
George Webb Restaurants picked today as the big giveaway day for delivery on that promise. That reads, George Webb predicts Milwaukee will win 12 straight games. Got to get yours today.
This is a tasty free George Webb burger.
Checking in with WTMJ's Burgermeister.
Meister Burger.
And it's your Spencer.
Told to be expected that the line will be wrapped around Aldi again, and that'll be past the Dollar Tree, and that it will just wrap around Aldi.
Past the Dollar Tree, you don't say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The line has been steadily moving. A young lady was celebrating her 90th birthday today with a free George Webb burger.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Hurricane Erin is as close to the U.S. as it's likely to get, rushing along the outer banks of North Carolina.
Winds gusting near 40 miles an hour right now. Conditions really deteriorating overnight. It is incredibly rough out there right now, and it is also high tide right now, and that is the combination that has had officials so concerned here.
FEMA is here. The work has begun. Teams with the Federal Emergency Management Agency are now on the ground in Milwaukee County.
We just want to get a picture of what that impact was. There is no set dollar amount. There's no threshold that needs to be met. Is there a gap that federal assistance may need to fill? We want to also understand, are there uninsured losses that people have sustained?
A heroic moment from Wisconsin U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden after helping save a bleeding 11-year-old boy injured in a serious crash in Iowa this weekend.
I ran back to my truck and grabbed 2 pairs of socks from my suitcase and went back and tied them into constricting bands. And I asked if anybody had a knife. They handed me a carpet knife, and I cut the seat belts into pieces long enough to make tourniquets. So we made a tourniquet for his arm and one for his leg, and that stopped the bleeding. So I said to his father, I said, sir, Sarah and I lost a child 2 years ago. And I'm very thankful that you will not be going through that experience.
The Brewers were telling us right away, we'll do something. We'll do something for all of the fans so you can honor Uke. Himself a Hall of Fame broadcaster and longtime friend of Bob Uecker, Bob Costas. And Bob is on the line with us this morning.
There was never anyone like him before he arrived, and there will never be anyone like him again. No one ever capitalized on futility to the extent that Bob did. So Bob the player, then Bob the broadcaster, Bob the entertainer with Johnny Carson and the movies and the commercials and all the rest, and Bob's connection to his home state of Wisconsin and his adopted hometown of Milwaukee.
I'm rifling through all my best Uecker stories, going back into a mental inventory, and I'm eliminating almost all of them because they can't be told on the air.
You got it.
What are we, gang? What a week.
Redistricting war has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that's the Weekend Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. After 9 o'clock, new at 9, we are going to be replaying some of those excerpts from Bob Costas's interview with Vince and Eric. And also remember to stay tuned today because we're going to have extended coverage of the Brewers, including what you're going to hear on the field. If you weren't lucky enough to get those tickets for the Celebration of Life for Bob Uecker, we'll have it here on WTMJ. It's 8:40, 62 degrees. We're going to get up to 70, and it's going to feel very much like fall around Milwaukee.
Get started on your painting project this summer and save big money at Menards. Rust-Oleum Stops Rust 5-in-1 spray paint lets you choose from 5 unique spray patterns with a twist of the dial, so you can get a professional, corrosion-resistant finish on every project. Save big money on Rust-Oleum spray paint now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin.
For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
If you're in a position where you've got a new job, are you putting it on social media right away? Well, before you do, wait a second. Joining us on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line is Michelle Reinen, our consumer expert from DATCAP. And why should we not post the happy news that we've got a new job, Michelle?
Well, this could put individuals and companies at risk of a boss imposter scam. It's quite the name, but it's a real thing, and we need consumers to be aware of it for the safety of themselves as well as the companies they're going to work for.
So how does this work?
Well, soon after getting hired and possibly even before a consumer would start a new job, if they posted it on social media, that's out there for everyone to know. So they might get contacted by their new boss. This boss might have an urgent request, but is secretly really a scammer impersonating the employee's real boss. The message that they receive may be sent via text, email, or even social media, and it could simply be saying, "Hi, this is so-and-so. Text me back when you get a chance." You know, how great would that be, being welcomed in advance by your new boss? Or it could be a formal email, including a real-looking signature matching the company's format and the real boss's name and title. But the boss, this fake boss, may ask the employee to purchase gift cards and provide the card numbers to the company, or ask for private financial or personal information needed to confirm their employment. And this scammer is relying on these new employees being unfamiliar with the new workplace, the new policies and procedures, and being eager to please their new boss. So they're unlikely to ask questions, even if the request sounds suspicious. So they put the company at risk in you spending potentially money on gift cards that they don't want to, but your own personal information at risk when you transmit it to this scammer.
So if you think that you are the victim of a scam like this, what should you do?
Well, just realize that you need to protect your personally identifiable information. So don't share it. This request is unexpected or unusual. Just know that an employer might need your new work information, your Social Security information, your bank account number, but that typically starts on your first day of hire when you give that information over and in person. Don't do it unsolicited. Pay attention to how a contact is initiated. Consider if it's unusual for a new boss to reach out after hours on your personal email or social media account. And pause, investigate, verify before acting. Call a friend, call your new boss or supervisor or even the HR department to ask if a contact is legitimate before acting.
So if you think you're being scammed, Michelle, who do we call?
Call DADCAP's Consumer Protection Hotline at 1-800-422-7128 or contact the website at datcp.wi.gov.
It's going to be a beautiful day for a baseball game. Sunny, maybe a few clouds, a bit breezy, and 71 for a high. There might be a chance, a very small chance of an afternoon shower. It's 62 degrees at 8:45 on WTMJ. Coming up in 1 minute, it's more Court and Sports.
Think of your experienced quality electrician for remodels or smaller projects like replacing fixtures or fluorescent lights to LED, electric car charging port installs, and electric panel swap outs. Codes are about to change that require a more expensive breaker. Quality can help. And for a power outage, count on lightning fast emergency service.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Nobody likes it when their old water heater sings its last song. But if there's a positive side to it, say you upgrade now with a tankless water heater. That means instant hot water on demand. Those old water heaters aren't exactly efficient either, but you ride them as long as you can. And when they can't do the job anymore, call Quality. Whether it's drain cleaning, snaking, or taking care of a leaky pipe or faucet.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers had a difficult and disappointing game last night, losing 7-1 against the Giants. Pat Murphy says we need to consider the pitcher.
More of the situation was really our bullpen was depleted, and then we saw Freddie's velocity in the fifth really drop down. He was behind in the count, and maybe he had more. I believe he probably had some more in the tank, but we can't start risking that with our state of affairs right now.
The Crew has one more game against San Francisco this afternoon before they take on Arizona. WTMJ will carry an extended pregame show to include the team's celebration of Bob Uecker. Brewers warm-up starts at noon. Brewers radio network coverage starts at 12:25, and first pitch is at 1:40 p.m. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
And in just a couple minutes, Sandy Max is going to be in here. She's got a preview of some of the things to expect at that celebration of life for Bob Uecker at AmFam later on today.
What's on tap with Sandy Max?
I have found Hamburger Man himself.
I'm Hamburger Man!
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity.
I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were going to seal the deal, and they did it.
So I take it you are fully enthused about this George Webb tradition.
Absolutely! I want it now. I want my burger now. I want it right now.
What's on tap with Sandy Max? Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ.
Burgers!
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Take me out.
It's that time of the week. Sandy Max with Sunday What's on Tap. Sandy, I've been thinking about you all week.
Oh,
well,
yeah?
No, maybe this doesn't sound
What a
right.
nice thing to say.
Well, yes and no. Have you heard this controversy about The Biggest Loser? Not that you have anything to lose. Trust me, you
I thought
don't.
you were saying that I am a big loser.
No,
but I hear
the TV show with for 10 years or whatever. All they did was
18 seasons.
It was 18.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Biggest Loser, that big competition show.
Yeah, with Jillian Michaels. And she became a huge star over it.
One of the coaches, where the whole premise was the more weight you lose, you could win $250,000. So it was a reality show that casted overweight people. And keep in mind, this is the time it started in 2004. And this is when Survivor had started in 2000. So did Big Brother. American Idol started in 2002. So this is when reality shows were really, really popping and really hot. And I will tell you another funny thing that I remember. I remember reading in the newspaper in like 1999 that CBS was going to do this Survivor show. And if you want to audition, you had to fly yourself out to California. I mean, it was everything.
I saw that same article. I remember it. I thought about doing it.
But everything was on the contestant. Everything was on you.
Mm-hmm.
So think about all these overweight people who were like, yes, this is the key to my success. I've been wanting to lose weight all my life, or after I had a baby, or after I had this huge life upheaval. And people were sending in videos of them in bikinis on the corner in New York City, shamelessly, just like, I want to be on TV and I want to change my life for the better. This is that time where people were going all in and not getting paid at all. So you're really hustling to try and get $250,000 and lose, up to 60, 70, 80, 110 pounds.
But now,
in a short time.
Now, there's a documentary.
Yes.
Saying
so
it
that
wasn't,
was the whole premise.
It wasn't all that we saw on TV, that there was a lot going on behind the scenes.
Well, that's the drama. Yeah, exactly. On camera and then behind the scenes. Because think about, I'll tell you honestly, my relationship with food is twisted. I'm a woman, number one. But not that there's anything wrong with that. But there are always these unattainable beauty standards, whether it's in magazines or social media, as we're growing up all along. So that kind of messes with you. And then I grew up in a dance culture. That kind of messes with you too. So I've always had to body image and weird relationship with food. So I empathize greatly with that plight of always wanting to feel like you're your best self. And to capitalize on that, because I think it's a really vulnerable place to be. It's not just eating too much. There's so many issues with weight. So how were they casting this? And then when you're putting overweight, out of shape people through these really, at one point, Jillian Michaels called it tough love.
Mm-hmm.
You're making people who are not in shape hike up these hills in California till they puke and they're
rigorous.
Sweating. It's scary. And then there are all these other health issues that came from that. So you talk about the drama behind the scenes. Sure, some people dropped a lot of weight, but there was a major study found that after that kind of rigorous physicality, your metabolism can actually slow down. So after the show, all these people who lost weight, it was kind of inevitable that they would put it back on. And like going to a conference, how many conferences have we all gone to and we're like, oh, we learned these fundamentals. Then you have to put them into practice. So if you get this great coaching for 6 to 8 weeks on TV from some of the best health experts and doctors and coaches, and then you go home with your Cheetos and Fritos and back to that lifestyle, it's not attainable. So there were that. And then caffeine pills. Like if you watch any reality show, and now that we're 25 years into the reality show craze, all those Bravo shows, all those Real Housewives
the
are
Ozempic wives?
And they're getting tanked. You see everybody's always got a glass of wine in their hand, and they really push people. They cast them for conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for that strife and drama and tears.
What I think is interesting about this documentary is they are really going after Jillian Michaels.
Yeah.
She is taking a hard hit, and she's come out swinging.
She's got her reputation to maintain. This is hot news. It just came out, 2 weeks ago? It's on Netflix. All 3 episodes dropped at once. And then this also came out. She'd just been on CNN talking about slavery and her opinions on that, which was also controversial.
Oh, yeah,
so
she has...
outspoken is a diplomatic term.
She's an interesting person.
So she's in the spotlight. But yeah, she is defending herself, and because she's been also accused of ignoring Bob Harper, who is one of the other coaches, who I saw him on The Trader season 3. I'm like, who's Bob Harper? So, because I wasn't watching the show, because I've got that weird kind of mentality with food and being overweight and just not taking joy in watching these people suffer. But she supposedly ghosted him, and she's like, no, I didn't. I have the text. So the receipts
She didn't
are on
call
her
him
phone.
when he had a heart attack.
Yeah, which would characterize her as heartless,
Except they probably weren't getting along anyway.
Sure. But yeah, there's a lot of drama. And I will tell you that the titles of each of the episodes are pretty telling right there. Winning the Lottery is episode 1, which is, how they lured people in. Hunger Games, I think, is a great title for episode 2. And then Tipping the Scales. And that's really the fallout and the aftermath, the scandals, and really the emotional aftermath for everyone involved. I think PTSD is even mentioned in the trailer.
Well, it's definitely one of those things people are talking about around the water cooler.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'll tell you what people are going to be talking about around the water cooler tomorrow. And that is what's going on at AmFam today.
I'm on my way. I'm taking all the advice to get there early. Milwaukee.
And that is really an event that's going to be honoring Bob Uecker that I don't think they've ever done here in Milwaukee before.
No, they encourage everyone to get there early. Gates will open at 10:30. You can roam the concourses on every single level. There will be displays of Bob Uecker memorabilia on every level. So you're going to want to roam the concourses there. And then I would say if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, I bought an obstructed view in the 400 level. I want to be there. I just want to be there. So if you have a ticket, get there early and be in your seat by noon, because at 12:15 is when Bob Costas will be hosting a very special pregame show. We're even going on the air early here at WTMJ, so you can experience special presentation.
If you didn't get tickets, we're going to have it here. You'll be able to hear it. And you mentioned Bob Costas, who was on with Vince and Eric the other day. And when we get back after the news, New at 9, we're going to play a couple of those excerpts in case you didn't hear Bob.
Great conversation. And I will tell you, I followed up with the Uecker documentary crew. You know, there's a film called Ueck that has been filming for 2 years. So I touched base with them to see how the progress is. Editing continues, so the film is still in progress. And the crew will be there today getting more footage of this special time. So they're really going to have a real time capsule and tribute to Bob Uecker with this upcoming Ueck documentary. So we'll keep you updated on what's on tap for sure.
Well, I don't want to hold you up because I know you want to get to the game. But real quick, what are you talking about this week?
Art vending machines in Milwaukee.
Art vending machines?
Yes. WTMJ reporter Jessica Getzo has been investigating. So we'll have an update for you on Thursday at 6 on What's on Tap.
Can't wait. Sandy Max, always great to have you here.
Go Brewers. Love you, Bob.
And it is going to be a beautiful day for baseball. Sunny, a few clouds in the sky. There might be a stray afternoon shower, but our high is going to be 71 degrees. Pretty chilly tonight, 53 if you're near the lake, 48 inland. And then tomorrow, another nice day. Sunshine, a bit breezy, and a high of 70. We're at 63 degrees at 8:57 on WTMJ. Coming up here after the news, we'll have New at 9 with those Costas highlights. And then we're going to be joined by two generals of the National Guard. They're going to be joining us live in the studio talking about the conference they're having this weekend in Milwaukee. It's all ahead right here on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
They've got a big name, but their game? Yeah, not so much.
Brewers have shut out San Francisco.
The Brewers host the Giants in Milwaukee.
An exclamation point. It is 11-1 Crew.
Our game day coverage starts today at noon with Brewers warm-up on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock at 62 degrees in Milwaukee. Today, sunny to partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a stray afternoon shower possible with a high of 71. Tonight, a low of 53 near the lake. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Nazir Spencer. President Donald Trump says Chicago is a mess and the National Guard could be heading there next. Terry Keshner with WBBM Radio says one local alderman is not happy with this.
Chicho Lopez says the National Guard would only escalate violence in Chicago and says there are other ways the White House can help the city, like focusing on things like housing, transportation, and education.
Yes, we want to work to protect our residents. It's unfortunate what is happening in our country, but I tell you that here in Chicago, I think that we see is a trend towards actually safer neighborhoods. And with this kind of work and impact and supporting our communities, we're going to continue in that direction.
The Washington Post reports the deployment could come as early as September. A person is dead after police pursuit ended in a crash Saturday night. Milwaukee police say they tried stopping the vehicle wanted in a recent shooting near Menike Avenue around 7:40. The driver sped off, crashing into another car on Center Street, killing the driver. The suspect ran away and has not been caught. This is under investigation. Homes and businesses weren't the only flood-damaged areas in Milwaukee.
24 Milwaukee public schools were affected by flooding. 22 are considered to have minor damage. The most affected are Riverside University High School and Obama School of Career and Technical Education. Riverside's damage called for a classroom to be relocated, while the Obama School of Careers involved flooding in a boiler room. 12 of the schools require tile removal. The school year is expected to begin as planned on September 2nd. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Surrendering an animal isn't easy. The Wisconsin Humane Society serves 18,000 animals annually. President and CEO of the Wisconsin Humane Society, Allison Fox, tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
We absolutely take in surrenders year-round. We are the surrender facility for the Milwaukee area, and we have 5 other shelters throughout the state. And so we routinely take in owner surrenders, and that's what we're there for. If somebody needs a little support, our first goal is to try and keep that family together. But if that family makes that decision, we are absolutely there to support their animal and them in that time.
1,100 of the animals are cats and kittens. Celebrating 40 years of Milwaukee's root beer history.
Sprecher Root Beer is one of the only sodas that is fire brewed. Head of Marketing and E-commerce Ryan Hoffins tells WTMJ's What's on Tap how that process works.
It's basically the same process that you would do in brewing. You have to heat the mash and then you put it into a kettle, add yeast, and it ferments and everything. What we do with our sodas is we don't put the yeast in.
And their sweetener is always locally sourced honey.
We just try to source as much locally as we can because we want to give back to the community. We want to make sure that we're supporting local businesses.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Sprecher is hosting an 80s-themed 40th birthday party today at the Glendale Brewery, beginning at 11 a.m. Remembering Mr. Baseball, Brewers President of Business Operations Rick Schlesinger tells WTMJ what fans can expect today for the memorial.
It's going to be emotional, and it's going to be incredible, the stories and some of the videos from Bob's family that have never really been shown to people, and we have some cool memorabilia that we're going to have in and around the ballpark. Special Bob Uecker merchandise available only for a Sunday and proceeds to charity, so it helps the community.
The memorial will be hosted by Uecker's longtime friend and broadcaster Bob Costas. Sports traffic and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money, the One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top-notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
We see you out there, making the most of every moment.
one big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like men's Rustler jeans, $16.99. Rewards members save an extra buck. Men's Lee Extreme Motion jeans, $21.99. 15% off assorted Brinks padlocks. And a DeWalt shop stool with casters, $20 off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lose against the Giants 1-7 Saturday evening, making the series 1-1. WTMJ will carry an extended pregame show for the Brewers to include the team's celebration of Bob Uecker. Brewers Radio Network coverage will now start at 12:25. First pitch for the Brewers game will be at 1:40. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic on I-41 US 45 north at Mayfair Road. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Doesn't seem to be causing any baggage due to traffic. It's on the left shoulder, and there is a tow truck inbound to get these vehicles in order. So just make sure to mind that left shoulder and don't get in their way, because you don't want to hit anyone on that left shoulder. Otherwise, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny to partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a stray afternoon shower possible with a high of 71. Tonight, a slight chance of an isolated shower in the evening, then clearing and cool. Lows near the 53 near the lakefront and 48 inland. Monday, sunny to partly cloudy and still a bit breezy with a high of 70. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 70. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 75. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 76. Right now in Madison, it's 61. In Green Bay, it's 61. In Waukesha, it's 61. And in Milwaukee, it's 62 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:08.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
And as Nizer just told you, the Brewers are going to celebrate the life of Bob Uecker before today's game. But on Friday, legendary broadcaster Bob Costas joined Vince Vitrano and Eric Bilstead on Wisconsin Morning News.
There has been talk out loud, even in the Brewers organization, of this idea that Uke's up there looking down and doing what he can to help direct the traffic down here. I don't know how much attention you would give to that, but man, it certainly feels like it.
Who's to say it isn't so? And certainly, if they get all the way to the World Series, and they have as good a shot at it as any team does, many of those games will be dedicated to Uke, not just by the front office, not just by fellow broadcasters, not just in ceremonies like the one we'll have on Sunday at the ballpark, but in the clubhouse. And that was one of the many things that was unique about Uke. You think of the all-time great broadcasters. I spent a lot of time in St. Louis. Jack Buck, one of the greatest of the great, had tremendous respect, regard, and affection, not just from Cardinal fans, but from the players. Vin Scully, same thing in Los Angeles. You can make a list. But what none of them had, even the broadcasters who were former players, was that connection to the team. I mean, Uke had his own locker. Went to the playoffs. They voted him a full share, which, of course, he immediately sent to charity. He's in the midst of all those locker room celebrations, a deeper connection between Uke, the broadcaster, and the players for the Brewers than any other broadcaster I can think of. And several of the players who I talked with after Bob's passing were choked up. You saw how choked up Christian Yelich was. You saw how choked up Robin Yount was. This was a deep, deep connection to a team, to a fan base, and to that team's players.
And Bob Costas also told Vince and Eric about the last time he saw Bob Uecker.
Yeah, a lasting, enduring friendship, Bob and I were in touch literally until days before he passed away. And I know that there really isn't anything original I can say here that hasn't been said already. There was never anyone like him before he arrived, and there will never be anyone like him again. The combination of his extraordinary broadcasting ability, even if he never said anything funny, even if he was never in the Major League movies or the Miller Lite commercials or on Johnny Carson, even just as a play-by-play guy, he was fantastic. But then when you put that together with his unique personality and the bond he had for more than half a century throughout Wisconsin and in Brewer Nation as the voice of the team, that will never be equaled, never even approached again.
And WTMJ is going to carry an extended pregame show for the Brewers, including the team's celebration of Bob Uecker's life, starting with Brewers warm-up right after the news at noon today on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins. It's 9:11 coming up in just a couple minutes. We're going to introduce you to two generals who are in town for the National Guard's Conference. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Streaming services, retail chains, and tech giants are all adding plus to their names. It's fairly obvious they were inspired by Hasselist mattress. Hasselist showrooms are employee-free, plus unbeatable prices on Tempur-Pedic, plus free next-day delivery, plus 60-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic with approved credit, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card with your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Maybe we should change our name to Hasselist Plus. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. They painted our house, the outside of the house, fantastic. They did the parts in the sun, the parts in the shade, the parts on the north side, the parts on the south side. They paid attention to detail the whole way. They went the extra mile all day long. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or your business. They do both. They pay a lot of attention. They took a lot of time with our house, and it looks absolutely perfect. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They're the real deal. They're the best in the business. It's CertaPro Painters.
For senior living where comfort meets community, welcome to the Waters of Pewaukee, an experience designed with you in mind. Enjoy beautiful, spacious apartments, chef-prepared meals, and enriching daily activities that bring joy and purpose. Whether it's independent living, assisted care, or memory support, you'll find a compassionate staff, modern amenities, and the peace of mind you deserve at the Waters of Pewaukee. You're not just moving in, you're coming home. Schedule a tour and learn more today at thewaters.com.
Hey, value shoppers, Fleet Farm's having another 3-day bucket sale. Here's how it works. Pick up a 5-gallon Fleet Farm bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside. That's right. Any qualifying items that fit in the bucket are 15% off. So stop in and save during Fleet Farm's bucket sale, August 22nd through the 24th. And check out even more deals in our weekly ad at fleetfarm.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers had a strong start in the second inning last night with an RBI double from Caleb Durbin, and it was all downhill from there. The Giants beat the Brewers in a 7-1 landslide after a 3-run homer in the seventh that the crew just couldn't recover from. They've got one more game against San Francisco this afternoon before they take on Arizona. WTMJ will carry an extended pregame show to include the team's celebration of Bob Uecker. Brewers warm-up starts at noon. Brewers radio network coverage starts at 12:25, and the first pitch is at 1:40 p.m. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
And thanks a lot. In just 2 minutes, we're going to introduce you to two generals from the National Guard. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bride.
This is now a new ball game where I think state after states may say, let's make it as hard as possible for the other side to win.
What does it actually look like to be represented by your congressional districts? And so should it be districts? Whatever the popular vote is how many you send to Congress.
But just like term limits, the people that will decide this are the ones that don't want to do that.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
We ran the numbers. Overseas furniture makers charge an extra 38% to package and ship iffy furniture to the Midwest.
So out of $1,000, you're paying $380 for nothing that makes the product better.
But 82% of Penny Mustard's furniture is made within 300 miles of us.
So we're able to invest that extra $380 into higher quality materials and craftsmanship.
American-made furniture that lasts for generations.
When you shop at Penny Mustard, it adds up.
PennyMustard.com.
5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here, and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Downtown the last couple of days, you may have seen some men and women in uniform. And that's because the National Guard Association of the United States, also known as NAGAS, is having their annual conference here in Milwaukee. And joining us are Major General Francis McGinn. He is the president of the National Guard. He served for a number of years in the Massachusetts National Guard, and also Major General Matthew Strub. He's the Adjutant General for the Wisconsin National Guard. Generals! I've never had two generals here before. It's great to have you here.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Great to be here.
Well, first, tell us a little bit about NAGAS. What is it that you do?
So NAGAS was formed in 1878, following the Civil War, when the North and South, got together and really was lobbying Congress to make sure there was pay and benefits and equipping to make sure the militia was equipped to defend the nation. So that's when we were founded. So this is our 147th annual conference. And each year we jump from state to state. The states will bid to host the conference. And we have about 4,000 attendees. Usually we get to hear from industry partners. We get to hear from senior leadership in the Defense Department. And we provide professional development for our company grade officers. So it's just it's a multifaceted conference that goes on over about a week. 3 days really in the conference, but it takes us about a week to get in and get out of here. So we couldn't do it without the states, so our hats are off to Team Wisconsin. General Stubb, his team, and the Wisconsin National Guard have done a great job so far in hosting. We can't do it without the state support.
And this isn't the first time they've been here in Wisconsin, is it, General Stubb?
No, this will be the third time we've hosted here in Wisconsin. Last time was 2011, and we're just so honored to be able to host, show off our great state, show off the city of Milwaukee. Great backdrop, great venue to show off our great state to the rest of the 54 that come together for this conference.
Well, obviously, you both have a storied career in the National Guard. But what is it that motivates people to join the Guard?
It's a call to service. I mean, they want to serve their community. The difference between the Guard and the active component, and many people come off the active component and still want to serve, but still want to have a career or raise a family and not have to move all over the place. It's that drive to serve their community. And you see it in our domestic capabilities. We're the combat reserve for the Army and the Air Force. We're about 43% of the Army combat power and about 30-something% of the combat air power. That's our primary Title X mission when we're mobilized under the president. But our domestic support is what our folks like. The hurricanes, the floods, everything you've seen in the news lately. That's where they come out. They take off whatever uniform they're wearing, whatever their civilian capability is. They put the uniform on and they come to serve their communities.
Well, I know it's interesting because both of you have a career in law enforcement before you join the Guard. And there's a lot of first responders who get involved in the Guard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with General McGinn. It's about service. It's a sacrifice to put on a whole second job. But when you can respond to some local disaster or respond to some emergency here in the country and help our local citizens, it's really rewarding. And some of the most rewarding things I've done in my career is supporting our citizens here in this nation, as well as our combat mission overseas. But it's about service.
Well, you were in New Orleans for Katrina.
Yes, right after the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, we flew down as a helicopter pilot, was hoisting folks off rooftops and balconies. And that's still, tours in combat, but one of the most rewarding things I've done.
What's an experience like that like?
Oh, it's humbling. You see people, it's totally devastated. And just like the floods we had here in Wisconsin and Milwaukee here, houses devastated and they're losing their homes. And to be able to go out and help them out is truly rewarding.
Now, you mentioned deployments, and I know both of you, I think, served in Iraq. Is that correct?
Yes.
How prepared for deployment does a member of the Guard have to be?
Oh, readiness is everything. We can't go overseas unless we're at that level of readiness where we're going to be go over there safely, bring our people home. We're confident. We're confident in our mission set. So, and we do a good job. Since 9/11, when they really operationalized the National Guard, we've gotten very, very good at deployments, and we've had thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people go overseas and come back. And it's a testament to the men and women that serve. I mean, they hone their skills. They get good at their craft, and what the Guard also brings is that civilian skill set. You're not just getting a soldier or an airman. You're getting police officers, firefighters, city managers, attorneys, you name it. And again, going back to the old militia days, they dropped off their plows, they picked up their rifles, and they went to defend this nation. And it's that heritage going back to our inception in December 13, 1636, in my home state of Massachusetts. That's when we began. And it's really the same. It's just evolved into modern times, but that's what we do. And our men and women love doing it. They do.
We're talking with Major General Francis McGinn. He's the president of NAUGUS, that's the National Guard Association of the United States. Also, the Adjutant General of the Wisconsin National Guard, Major General Matthew Straub, is here with us today. When a man or a woman joins the Guard, what is their commitment? I mean, is it several times a month? Is it a certain number of weeks per year? Bottom line, what are they committing to?
Yeah, so usually it's a 6-year contract. So they're going to do 6 years in the military. But they're signing up to do 1 weekend a month of drill and 2 weeks of annual training a year. And that's really the minimum. A lot of folks are doing a little bit more than that because we're called to do help in the state. Some folks, when they do their initial training, they're gone for anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months, depending on the schooling that they need to build their initial craft. But once you get into a routine, it's generally 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. And that time, like General McGinn was saying, is focused on training for our overseas combat mission. And when soldiers get good at that combat mission, it's about running an operation, and then we're able to use those skills that we provide or build to support our citizens when we're supporting national disasters.
Is there a certain skill set you're looking for in potential members of the Guard?
No, not really. When they come in, I mean, we train them. I mean, the Army trains them, or the Air Force trains them through the schools. So they build you up and they make you good at your craft, and we do good. And as you progress along your career, you get additional training, additional schooling, and all that up until really to our rank at General Officer. They're still sending us to different schools and training and business and management. So the services do a really, really good job of making sure that they hone in their craft and they're confident in what they need to do.
Both of you attended War College.
Yes, ma'am.
And we've heard that term. What exactly is War College?
So War College is all about training officers to look and work at the strategic level. So looking at from the national defense strategy and how does that fit into the unit that I'm working in. So to take all of the training that you've had up to that point. So it's all tactical training. How do I lead a squad, lead a platoon, lead a company, maybe even a battalion. And then after that level, you're looking at what is the national level strategy and how do we fit into that and how do we support our civilian elected officials. When
they call you, you come. Usually it's the governor of the state?
So here in Wisconsin and every National Guard across the state, day to day, we work for the governor, and the governor is our commander-in-chief. When we're called to a federal status, the president then activates us through the Department of Defense, and we go do the federal mission. So day-to-day, commander-in-chief is our governor.
Oh, so I have to ask you, and obviously it's been in the news, and that is that the Guard has been asked by the president to be in Washington, D.C. Is that unusual? I mean, in your memory, and both of you have been in the Guard for a number of years, has that ever happened before? Were they asked not to go to a place in another country, but to be here in the United States for that kind of a mission?
I would say it's not unique. I think we've been called for civil disturbance type missions in the past. DC is unique because it's always under federal control. So that's where I guess it's kind of unique in that aspect. But we've been after 9/11, if you recall, we had soldiers and airmen in all the major airports. In fact, in New York, they were there for years. So if you traveled through any of the New York airports, you would see the soldiers and airmen patrolling the airport then. So it's not unique. It's part of the mission. It's part of the president has the ability to do that. He has the legal authority to do that. And we're a nonpartisan organization, and as a military, we're nonpartisan. We follow orders as long as they're legal and they're lawful, and that's what we do. So
well, and both of you, of course, with law enforcement careers. I know you were with the Massachusetts State Police for 30 years.
Yes.
And governors or generals. I just promoted you, I think. General Strub, you were with the Wisconsin State Patrol for 11 years.
Yes, I was.
How do you feel as former law enforcement? You were out there patrolling the streets when you hear that you're getting support from the National Guard.
I can give you a great example. So in my job, we had the 4th of July Esplanade. Boston Pops would play. Several 100,000 people attend. And the Guard has always supported that routinely. And I would be there as a state police officer, and I welcome them coming in. They're a force multiplier. They really double the size of what you have. We also roll out for the Boston Marathon every year. They're doing crowd control. They're doing traffic things. So the Guard has always been ingrained, I think, with law enforcement, at least from my perspective in Massachusetts. And I would argue it's probably the same way across the states.
Yeah, likewise. And when we come out in the National Guard, we support law enforcement. We don't take on that law enforcement role, making arrests and things like that. We just support with logistics, manpower, just to make the law enforcement manpower go a little bit farther.
CNN this morning is reporting that there's talk in Washington about bringing the Guard to Chicago. Have either of you heard that story yet?
I have not.
I have not either.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when I saw that was their headline today. Do you think that there will be more cities, major cities, that have crime problems, I mean, bottom line, that might ask for support from the Guard based on what we're seeing in Washington?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to conjecture. I don't know. I have not heard that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
General McGinn, do you have a...
I wouldn't speculate either. I mean, I think it's up to each individual's governor and what the president is looking to do. So,
well, bottom line, though, if somebody is considering a career with the National Guard, what encouragement would you give them?
I would actually absolutely encourage them. I enlisted into the National Guard when I was a 17-year-old in high school looking to help pay for college. Figured I was going to do 4 years and get out. And then just over the years, one more opportunity has presented itself, and I've just been willing to take that opportunity, put myself out there, try something new, and it's been just a blessing. So there are multiple opportunities in any career field, and it'll really hone leadership skills and ability to be a better, husband, father, wife, mother, and an employee for any employer you work for.
Yeah, I agree. I enlisted at 18 years old, same thing out of high school, wanted to get my college paid for. I didn't want to pay for it myself, and I always joke. I say I was too stupid to get out. I just stayed in for 40 years, but again, the opportunities come up, and you really love working with the soldiers and the airmen, and it's just a love of service. And I do want to shout out to our families and our employees are a critical part of what we do. So as we go on, this is a family affair, and our families sacrifice so much, and our employers are great to allow us to leave service to put the uniform on, do our military job, and then come back to our regular civilian skill set.
Joining the Guard at 17 and 18, did either of you ever think, someday I'm going to be a general?
Absolutely not.
When I made major, I was shocked.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we thank you both for your service, and really for all the men and women serving us in the National Guard. Thank them for us for what they do. And Major General Francis McGinn, President from Naugus, and Major General Matthew Strub, Adjutant General for the Wisconsin National Guard. I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning.
Thanks for covering the conference. Really appreciate it. So.
Oh, well, listen, have a great time. Say hello to everybody there.
We certainly will. Thank you.
It's 9:29 on WTMJ.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today.
There was a deadly crash overnight, and we've got Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center at 9:31. Nazir?
Thank you, Libby. A person is dead after police pursuit ended in a crash Saturday night. Milwaukee police say they tried stopping the vehicle wanted in a recent shooting near Menike Avenue around 7:40. The driver sped off, crashing into another car on Center Street, killing the driver. The suspect ran away and has not been caught. This is under investigation. A 16-year-old boy is dead after a shooting Saturday night near North 12th Street and West Concordia. Milwaukee police say it happened around 9:15. The circumstances leading up to the shooting are still under investigation, and police continue to search for suspects. 5 more measles cases confirmed in El Canto County. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services reports the new cases are related to 9 previous cases in northeast Wisconsin. This shows community spread of the respiratory virus. State and local health departments are working to notify additional people who have been exposed. Measles is a high contagious vaccine preventable disease that can be spread from person to person through the air. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic on I-41 US 45 North at Mayfair Road. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. It seems that the tow truck is still in on the left shoulder there to get the vehicles out of the way, so just be mindful of that. Otherwise, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny to partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a stray afternoon shower possible with a high of 71. Tonight, a slight chance of an isolated shower in the evening, then clearing and cool with lows of 53 near the lakefront and 48 inland. Monday is sunny to partly cloudy and still a bit breezy with a high of 70. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 70. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 75. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 76. Right now in Verona, it's 61. In Oak Creek, it's 65. And in Milwaukee, it's 63 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:34.
If you're feeling vibrations in your steering wheel after reaching speeds of over 50 miles per hour, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your brakes are making weird noises or feel strange every time you apply them, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your engine light is on, you should bring it to Richlands.
And let us fix it for you, because there isn't an auto service repair job on the planet that our service techs can't fix.
Courtney's right. Just check out some of our Google reviews. A whole lot of stars means a whole lot of happy customers.
Proof's in the pudding. So whether you need factory scheduled maintenance
or tires, brakes, and suspension service, we've got your back.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians. I'm Brett Matschke, and the next time you're due for service,
bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
The dance of sunlight on water,
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's 9:36. Welcome back to the final half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. It is, as Nazir told you just a couple minutes ago, it is a beautiful day for baseball. And remember, we're going to have it all beginning right after the news at noon. We're going to be carrying the not just the game, which I believe first pitch is at 1:40. They moved it back, I think, because of the celebration of life for Bob Uecker. But we're going to be carrying the actual ceremony here on WTMJ, so you want to stick around for that. 2025 marks the 90th anniversary of Social Security. A lot of people say that is the most successful initiative in the history of our country. Joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Jim Flaherty, Associate State Director of Communications for AARP Wisconsin. And Jim, hard to believe, 90 years people have been collecting this benefit.
Well, you hit it right on the head by saying this has been probably our country's most successful initiative ever. In 90 years of Social Security, they have never missed a payment. We're going to be working really hard with our members to make sure it doesn't miss any more payments for 90 more years and beyond.
Well,
but it's going to take a team effort from everybody to make it strong.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up because there are a lot of skeptics. And they say, oh, I'll never collect Social Security. It won't be around. What are the safeguards that will ensure it will be?
The big myth out there in the world is that Social Security is going broke. It is not going broke. It's a pay-in, pay-out system. So, money is taken out of your check every week, and then when you retire, you're able to draw that money out. So there's always money flowing in and flowing out. If we don't do anything to Social Security, it will only be able to pay 80% of benefits by the year 2034. But as you said, we can make fixes now if both sides of Congress come together. It's a nonpartisan issue. Do a few things like possibly raise the retirement age or raise the income tax on Social Security. There are tweaks they can do that won't hurt as much if we do them now rather than waiting until the program's in crisis. So the takeaway, it's not going broke, but the surplus will be eroded to the point where people will only get 80% in 2034 if we don't do something now. So it's very important that everybody get involved in this initiative.
What would happen if, especially here in Wisconsin, people over the age of 65 did not have Social Security? How would that affect the poverty rate?
There are so many Wisconsinites and Americans who only rely on just their Social Security payments to get by. And this is paying rent, paying groceries, gasoline, medications, health care. Without this payment, over 36% of Wisconsinites, that's more than 1 in 3, would be living in poverty. As it is with Social Security, that number is only 6%. You just cannot overstate the value of this program.
How prevalent is fraud in the Social Security system?
I think it's overblown. Are there instances of fraud? Absolutely there are. But like I said, the program has never missed a payment. It's very efficient. The checks come every time. I think the fraud in Social Security, like any program, it is existent, but I think it's overblown compared to the value that the program brings to the country.
We're talking with Jim Flaherty from AARP Wisconsin. It's the 90th anniversary of Social Security. What is AARP doing to celebrate this big year?
We have been having tons of fun birthday parties for Social Security all over the state. We had a party in La Crosse. We did one in Milwaukee. We were at the Milwaukee Milk Milkmen baseball game last week. We did one in Madison last night at the Madison Forward game. So this is all about two things. Number one, it's celebration. We're celebrating the 90th anniversary of Social Security. Let's take a step back and really understand and appreciate how great the program is. And then number two, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how the program and what can be done to make it strong and solvent going forward. 1 in 5 Wisconsinites rely on Social Security, and in Milwaukee County alone, 164,000 people are on Social Security. That's not a small number. And they pump about $3.4 billion a year into the local economy. So we're talking about a monster program here, but it can't last forever unless lawmakers come together to make sure it remains strong going forward.
And AARP is lobbying for that.
Absolutely, but here's the deal. It's not just AARP. It's got to be a grassroots effort. So, I would encourage every single one of your listeners, keep in contact with your local lawmakers. Call them, your congressmen, your senators, and say, boy, this is my lifeline, and I really need you to be on top of this issue. Please cross the aisle and talk to the other side, because 95% of people are in favor of Social Security remaining strong going forward. It is truly a nonpartisan issue. Everybody pays into the system. Everybody draws from it, and it needs to be there. So don't give them a free pass. Don't let it fall off their radar. They need to be working together now to make sure it's strong going forward.
Jim Flaherty, Associate State Director of Communications for AARP Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks so much. People can go to aarp.org/WI to find out everything AARP is doing in Wisconsin and all over the state and the country.
It's 9:41, 64 degrees at WTMJ. Coming up next, we're going to give you a preview of our conversation with Adam Purcell. He is the newly announced Director of Milwaukee's Office of Wellness and Community Safety.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. When Tri-City National Bank decided to optimize their print output strategy, they needed a resource with the expertise to recommend a solution. CIO Robert Prang.
And James helped us with that analysis of what our print consumption was and what we were doing.
The outcome of the James Imaging Systems Managed Print Services recommendation?
We ended up reducing down to about 97 total printers and copiers from 197.
The impact on your print output?
We eliminated over 500,000 pages a month of output that we figured out we really didn't need.
Month after month, that adds up to savings and value.
Oh, tons of value. Those numbers add up even when it's only a penny or so per page.
Managed Print Services from James Imaging Systems. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. To learn more, visit jamesimaging.com.
John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. They painted the outside of our house. It was fantastic. I've got a big deck. They really had to navigate on 2 levels. The guys took their time. They paid attention to detail. They did it right around the deck. My whole house looks fantastic. Trim and siding, it's great. It's CertaPro Painters. Schedule fills up fast, so now's the time to plan your project. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or business. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are the best. They're CertaPro Painters.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. I know a lot of people were surprised earlier this week when Mayor Cavalier Johnson appointed Adam Purcell as the new director of Milwaukee's Office of Wellness and Community Safety. Well, I had an opportunity, it's about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. I had invited Adam. This is before any of this was on anybody's radar, that he was even being considered for that post. And he has written a book, and I had him come in and sit down for a conversation with me about his past, specifically some of the choices that he made when he was just a teenager. I mean, he first joined a gang when he was 14 years old. And he told me about the day that changed his life 3 days after he turned 15.
A lot of things happened simultaneously. So rival gang members came. I did not recognize them at the time. The gang leader who did told myself and my would-be future adult co-defendant to get out our guns, and we both did.
What happened then?
There was a conversation held. I could hear my co-defendant asking them if they belonged to a specific gang. Did not hear the response that they gave. I assumed it was in the affirmative because then the response was shooting, to which I then grabbed my gun, I ran across the street, and I also started shooting.
How many shots were fired?
20 in all, I believe.
And you fired how many?
As many as the gun held, I can't remember. No more than 6.
But one of those bullets hit one of the other gang members.
2, unfortunately.
You shot 2 men.
Correct. And 1, unfortunately, did not survive.
When he was sentenced, Adam Purcell was the youngest inmate in the adult system in Wisconsin history. And he told me how these bad decisions continued after being sentenced to mandatory life in prison as inmate number 314949. You beat up a guard?
Correct. I made a statement out of my mouth after a cell search. I said, if the conduct report that comes back from the contraband that was in my cell was a major ticket, I'm going to beat up the police, as we call them.
What contraband did you have?
There was so much. Everything from shanks to drug paraphernalia to you name it, we probably had it in our cell. As soon as I made the statement, I tried to put those words back in my mouth, but they are out there. The conduct report came back. It was a major ticket, which means they could send you to solitary confinement. I made the statement, when I see the officer again, I'm going to put my hands on him. And that's what I did, unfortunately. And then I was charged with another crime for beating him up. There was definitely blood. There was a number of punches thrown by me, and I received some more time for that instance.
After spending 4 years in solitary confinement and even more years at a supermax prison, Adam Purcell decided to turn his life around. He left gang life behind while still behind bars, not knowing if he'd ever be paroled. So when you went back into general population, how did your life in prison change from what it was like while you were still a gang member?
It was uncomfortable at first. I did cover up my tattoos, and there were a lot of people that were not happy because I'd risen up the ranks of the gang, and so without getting into too much detail, unpleasant is just the word I'll use. On the other side, a lot of the guards, they were very skeptical because I was a hellion. I mean, I was wild and out of control before I left the Supermax. And so when I came back, I think they thought I was putting on an act, but I would eventually end up going up to every single guard that I ever disrespected, wronged, put my hands on, and apologize.
You know, a lot of people have been wondering how a convicted murderer could ever lead Milwaukee's Office of Wellness and Community Safety. But Adam Purcell shares his entire story with me at 11 o'clock this morning. And let me tell you, it is a story of redemption and how he's now working with law enforcement and trying to make sure there's an understanding, not just of what law enforcement does, but also what the life in the streets is for a lot of young people, especially here in Milwaukee. And you can hear that entire conversation this morning at 11, right here on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins. It is 9:48. We're going to do some sports, aren't we? With Marquardt coming up after this on WTMJ.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money, the One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
Save big on your next painting project at Menards. Get long-lasting color with Pittsburgh's Grand Distinction Exterior Paint and Primer in one. It's highly dirt-resistant and provides a mildew-resistant coating. Save big on Grand Distinction Paint. The perfect combination of strength and beauty. Visit us in-store. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for a brief WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. The Brewers lost to the Giants 7-1 yesterday. They meet again Today, our coverage starts with Brewers warm-up at noon, and the pregame show starts at 12:25. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
It's a beautiful day for baseball. It's going to be sunny for the most part. Temperature's only getting up to 71. We are at 65 degrees at 9:50 on WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
My gut tells me that this summer heat's gonna last, and that means your AC's gonna be put through the paces. Now, we all know that AC can take a licking and keep on ticking, especially if it's an Armstrong. But when yours needs to be put out to pasture, call Quality. With over 70 vehicles on the road, we'll be there in a hurry. And with over 60 years of experience, how can you go wrong?
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Think of your experienced Quality electrician for remodels or smaller projects like replacing fixtures or fluorescent lights to LED, electric car charging port installs, and electric panel swap outs. Codes are about to change that require a more expensive breaker. Quality can help. And for a power outage, count on lightning fast emergency service.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Sip. I'm your host, Julia Fellow. So thrilled to share with you my special guest this weekend, Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for having me.
Good morning to you. So we're going to break down the term senior living. You don't like that term.
I do not.
Me either. You like to call it a senior lifestyle.
I sure do. Senior living, the term, it's out there. I understand it. We all know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, past probably 10 years, 15 years, has a little bit of a negative connotation to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I start to use the word senior lifestyle. That's what the Waters is about, a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. It's just about when you are a certain age, what does your lifestyle look like?
And going
look
into
like
your
now?
new chapter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what you have found is that baby boomers want to keep their excellent life. So there are standards that the Waters of Pewaukee has. That's incredible. I call it a resort.
It is. It feels like a resort. The founder wanted it to feel a little bit like a resort. You know, this population, baby boomers, a little bit older than the baby boomers, are used to their things, their home, the things that they like in their home. They shouldn't be giving up those things and moving to a place that has one choice for a meal, right?
You have 3 chefs.
3 chefs on staff. They make things every day. They have specials every day for lunch and dinner. Those always change. So the Waters has the feeling of we want those comforts you have at home and without having to take care of your house.
The
and
maintenance.
The maintenance. Exactly.
Yes,
Taking
I always
that
think
away.
of that.
Yep.
Absolutely. And everything's provided. So what I love on the first floor is that it looks like a restaurant.
Absolutely.
Wine on the ready.
Yep. Wine. We serve beer. We serve 3 meals a day. Snacks are always available. But we want the folks, the residents that live there, to feel like, you know what, I want to be taken care of. I want to come to the dining room and have it feel like I'm being waited on. And that's the feeling we want to give. Restaurant style, seating, and dining.
Oh, absolutely. You hit it on the head. It's fantastic. Chef's kiss, as we say.
There you go.
So what's really cool also is that the residents, the people who live there, they make choices of what happens, like different events or even outside the putting green.
Absolutely, absolutely. You saw the putting green, and there's a story with the putting green. The Waters had plans to build a pickleball court when it was being built, and the residents said, we don't want a pickleball court. We would like a putting green. And now we have a putting green.
Because you see pickleball courts all over Florida.
Right. But this is their home. These are their decisions. This is what they want. And that is just one example of
the waters of Pewaukee.
Absolutely. And it's everything from food to activities that what do you want to do? This isn't about us saying, here, you're doing this, you're eating this. This is what we're doing today.
So we go upstairs. And it's apartments, but it's condo style.
Right.
2 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Beautiful.
Granite countertops. The view's amazing.
There's not a bad view there, Julia. You know that. We're built on 22 acres. Wildlife everywhere. You look out the window, you'll see deer. You'll see sandhill cranes. You'll see turkey.
Yeah, my teammate Marilee said she saw turkeys.
Yes. It was like there's turkeys right out the window right now. So it's a beautiful view anywhere you look, which is really important, especially to the folks that live in and around the area or have come from that area. They're used to their yards. They're used to trees. They're used to the greenery, being able to go outside when their families come and visit. And I'll go back to what you said earlier. It feels like a condo. It does.
Yeah.
Granite countertops, full-size appliances. We don't chintz on anything. Everything is, everything you'd have in your home.
Full washer, full dryer.
Absolutely.
Walk-in closets. Also, if you need some extra help, like using the bathroom, or if someone needs help in the shower, the level of independence is curtailed to each person.
Absolutely. 100%. So assisted living isn't a one-size-fits-all. We want folks as independent as possible. So we don't come in saying, we're doing this, this, and this. It's what can you do? And where do you need help? What do you need support with? And we will come to you and do that and help with that support.
I love that. Also, pets are so important to families. And
yes.
we can have pets in the condos.
Oh my gosh, yes. You can have pets anywhere on the property. And are you ready for this? No weight limit on the dogs.
That's incredible.
That we have there. So, and by that I mean, you go to places and it says 25 pounds and under. Pets are our family.
They are.
And we've talked about that. If you have a golden retriever that's 75 pounds, how are you going to leave your dog behind? Pets are important.
Oh, and the Waters of Pewaukee also has a fenced-in.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Fenced-in dog park. So off the leash, the dogs are able to roam around, meet the other dogs, and that's pretty amazing. That's the only one I know of in any senior community, so that's pretty amazing.
And also, if you want, a little bit of your own home, but still have somebody come in and clean it, take care of your lawn, there are cottages.
Yep. Cottages are absolutely stunning. So I have 15 cottages on the property, which they are side-by-side models, so that equates to 30 cottages, and they are beautiful. Just right around 2,000 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Some have a 1-car garage, and that is truly condo living.
And and important to know if you want to move there is that there is a wait list.
Yes, there is.
And what do some people say? Do they say, just get me on the wait list now?
Absolutely.
What do you have to lose?
Right. I encourage the wait list because really good places, especially a place like the Waters of Pewaukee, we're going to have a wait list. And folks will come and say, Jennifer, you know what? I have a house to sell. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to move. I may be looking at 2 to 3 years. And I'll say, let's get on the wait list. Your name then is here. And we'll keep touching base over the next year, 2, 3 years. And we'll see
and call me in 3 years.
Absolutely.
People have said that.
Absolutely.
Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee. You can also go to thewaters.com and then you just click on Pewaukee and you can see the wonderful location, more amenities. Go and see it for yourself as well. Jennifer, thank you for joining us for the Sunday Sip.
Thank you, Julia.
We ran the numbers. and determined the overseas furniture makers are paying an extra 38% to package and ship their iffy furniture to the Midwest.
They're not paying it. The customer is.
That means of the $1,000 spent on a piece of iffy imported furniture, $380 of those dollars are paying for nothing that makes the product better.
But 82% of the furniture sold at Penny Mustard is made within 300 miles of us.
Swaddled in a comfy blankie and hand-delivered right here in the Midwest.
So we're able to invest that extra $380 into higher quality materials and craftsmanship.
The result is solid, sturdy, American-made furniture that lasts for generations.
Try doing that with the iffy-made furniture they make overseas.
So when you're buying new furniture, would you rather pay for low-quality, global shipping and dumpsters full of packaging?
Or would you rather spend that money on long-lasting, locally crafted furnishings?
When you shop at Penny Mustard, it adds up.
PennyMustard.com.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
They've got a big name, but their game